understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Because remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
They shouldn't have given you ashy blokes YouTube.
Cursed be the ground for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
All right, you dusty denizens, you dusty Jermaines, you ashy Jeffries, and you dirty foot Jose's, okay? Back in the house for your random ass questions today. You Ask Me Anything Friday. So hope you guys saved all that stuff up that you guys ask in comment sections with unrelated topics. Try to push through in the beginning when there's a defined topic. And hopefully you guys show up on AMA Fridays, okay? Get your questions answered. Anyhow, welcome some people. St. Trey, what's going on? Batting first. Captain Obvious, batting second. Luther, batting third. Mahanzi, okay, batting fourth. Batting cleanup. So, what's up, how come you don't give Toya your Be Just for Women channel? It's already built. She can just run it. You have to talk to Toya about that. You losing? What's going on? I don't know. Are you a business partner or something? You losing? What's going on? The Black Toxic? What's happening? Devon? What's going on? Grab Betty? What's going on? Luke? What's happening? LAXT? What's happening? Turtle Bitcoin? What's going on? ISM, greetings, master teacher from Zimbabwe. Oh, Zimbabwe. Okay, your opinion is the next Bitcoin-like investment? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Bitcoin, all these things are, because I remember Bitcoin before the Chinese got involved in 2009, okay? Basically, they're practically giving it away, okay? The thing is, there's all kinds of things. There's like stable coins that transfer money from one place to the other that are doing like trillions of dollars a year, $1 trillion a year. There's tons of stuff that's out there. Thing is that I haven't identified one because there's a scramble right now. In other words, there's nothing clear. Okay, there's nothing. There's nothing I could actually point to and say this is it. Right? Bitcoin. With something like Bitcoin, you got to have a bit of luck. Okay, if you're willing to take a risk. And Bitcoin if I was younger and I had more time, I'd have traded it. You could have made a ton of money in Bitcoin by trading it. Tons of money in Bitcoin by trading it. Because it really is a trading vehicle. But the thing is, from what to get investment into Bitcoin, you had to have a bit of luck. Okay, one, the Chinese had to buy into it and start using it. Two, The dollar had to become unstable. You know, the wars in the Middle East and the wars in Ukraine actually boosted Bitcoin uh, way beyond what I thought it was capable of. Okay, but you know, you can't predict a 3-year war in Ukraine. You can't predict a 2-year war in Gaza. You know, the United States pumping trillions of dollars into it. You can't even predict a war in Iran that's going to cause the money to blow up. So it's kind of hard. Ricky, what's going on? Prince, Samuel Isaac. Well, you know, since I'm not really in the business world anymore, I don't keep track of it like that. I don't feel comfortable talking about it because I don't do it. A lot of people ask me how come I don't talk about it. It's because um, I like to talk about stuff that I know about, that I'm studying, because I'm sure about it. Everything else is a guess, and I'll tell you when it's a guess. What's good, BGS? When are you coming to the continent? Your Swahili sounds good. I would teach you some Zulu. Okay. Uh, Actually, it was supposed to be sometime this year, but things got delayed. So hopefully, sometime next year, I will be coming to the continent, and hopefully to stay. Shannon, what's going on? Gundam, what's happening? Hard bottom shoes, what's going on? Ignatz, happy Friday, what's going on? Big Trick, what's up? Ray, what's going on? Fernando's, what's happening? I'm listening. Rise Films, what's going on? The Waffle House King, happy Pedestrians Day. I'm thinking about starting a series on my Master Teacher's Response channel called Politics for Pedestrians. I'm really serious. I think about starting that one because I think it would be funny, because a lot of people in so-called red pill manosphere talk about that we should get into politics, right? And so as you dip your toe into what they think they know about politics, you find out they don't know shit. I say, what are you complain to me about politics? You don't know shit. Okay. They don't even know the basics. I said, good evening, Shannon. What's happening? I'm here to ask you some dusty questions. I heard that. Hurricane Greg, Panda Man, happy 7-Eleven. Hey, heard that, man. You know, I feel like going out and rolling some dice. Hey, this is the year that our Moorish ancestors went into Europe, taught them. Oh yeah, that sure did. How to bathe, amongst other things. How to get started to smash their women, die the right natural way. Basically, you know, the Romans had baths. Okay, the Romans and the Greeks actually had baths. They had learned that from Egypt. Okay, but when the Romans left, all you had was barbarians left. So the sophisticated, educated, cultured people left and went to Byzantium. They moved back to Turkey, where they came from, and they left the Catholic Church to clean up the mess. So, um, but yeah, when the folks from the East invaded the Mediterranean West again, okay, they brought back culture. So that's why they call it the Renaissance. Okay, the Renaissance happened because the Islamic people, okay, the Eastern people that developed the culture came back and reintroduced the culture. Metacog, what's going on? There's a good book called 1177. He talks about the end of the Bronze Age, when the Egyptian culture collapsed because of the weather, and they started getting invaded. And it talks about that. It talks about the Hittites coming down, you know, from Turkey and trying to invade Egypt and all that kind of stuff. Basically, the Greeks and the Romans are actually come from the Hittites from Turkey. Okay, that's like when um, when they couldn't hold off the barbarians anymore, they moved back to Turkey, which is Byzantium, which becomes Istanbul and all that kind of stuff, right? Um, that's where the Orthodox churches comes from, right? Because they took Christianity and what they learned in Rome and shipped it back to where it came from. Uh, uh, we can be that ancestor now. It's always ebbs and flows, okay? ABZ, what's going on? Abs, what's going on? Do you think the black community lasting for 50? Do you see the black community lasting for 50 years as we know it today? Because I don't. Well, the world won't be the same in 50 years with technology because we're at a nexus right now. We're at the singularity. So the thing about black and race won't matter in 50 years. Okay, all that won't matter. Your cultural ties will matter more than your race. Your race and your color are arbitrary. It's becoming more and more arbitrary as we speak. Daz, what's happening? Apple Bite, I can't sniff. They can't sniff the live performance. Okay. That brew in the thumbnail looks good. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's why I used it. I said, OG, do you remember all those off-topic questions I had for you on other streams and vids? Yeah, neither do I. That's why I have email. Okay. That's also why I have a Patreon for those off-topic questions. Okay. What are those cheating stories from women? Oh, basically, there's a big. If you put in cheating stories into YouTube, man, all that crap will come up. It's the end thing now, man. I was just listening to a cheating story where this dude, a businessman, right? He funded his wife's medical career, and then when she graduated from medical school, she divorced him. And then had to come back 10 years later because he was broke. But yeah, if you put in cheating stories into YouTube, all that stuff will come up. So that's my guilty pleasure. Do the same people ask questions all week and are ghosts on Friday? That is true. Michael, what's going on? Daz, let them write it down next time. True. Mr. J. Matt, what's happening? Johnny Anderson, what's going on? BJS J. Carter said sold his farm to avoid the appearance of conflicts of interest. Trump's predecessors never denigrated our intelligence. Communities took sides with autocrats. How? I don't understand the question, and I don't even know if that's a question. Your take on Vietnam is a place to go? It's developing. Okay, I hear that. Well, if you stay in closer to some of the bigger cities, okay, you'll do just fine. Um, it depends on what you want. If you just want a basic life, man, you don't really need high speed internet or a lot of automation. You do fine. Okay. Um, Most of the world has come up to the point where you're to a basic standard of living, especially in the larger cities. Okay, you're not out in the village in a hut someplace. Okay, so your basic standard of living in a basic city where you actually eat, get clean water, all that kind of stuff is fairly standard in even most developing countries. So unless you need something special, okay, then Vietnam is fine. Can brothers finally admit he was worse? He was worse than two? No, actually not. Nope, actually not. The thing is, you only know. That's why I'm saying you guys politically only know what you know. Okay. Even Trump's doctor, not Trump, Biden's doctor had to take the fifth. Okay, Biden's doctor had to take the fifth. It's because they knew that he couldn't run the country anymore. Okay, but they had an agenda. So no, he wasn't. My brother Minzi Akazulu has been trying to get me to come to South Africa for a minute. If you want to party, if you really want to party, Big Trick, go to Joburg, okay? If you want to party, go to Joburg. You're gonna party, okay? If you want to party, South Africans is one thing they know how to do is party, okay? Now, can it be a little? If you stay out of the shady areas, okay, you're good, okay, because they're goons, okay, as they call them in Africa. There's some goons. You go where the goons are, you're gonna get robbed, okay. But if you stay in the spots, in the trendy spots, you're gonna party. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Everybody knows gone to South Africa's had a lot of fun. What's up, Maestro? First show for your politics for pedestrian show, the bill on Capitol Hill. I was right. You ain't shit. How does he support Russia but pick fights with Canada? He's not picking fights with Canada. He doesn't support Russia. And which brothers are willing to say they would have supported a black man president who led an insurrection and are Trump supporters not law? What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'll allow you up in a minute, man. Okay? Let me ask you this, man. Do you want somebody that's president that tried to start World War III 3 times? Okay? In fact, the last time he tried to start World War III, his his defense secretary had to come snatch the pen out of his hand because you're gonna sign some bullshit that was gonna get us into a hot war with Russia. Are you serious? I know you can't be that stupid. The sea people invaders, yeah. Well, that's what they call them because they didn't know where they came from. Chemistry can tell you, man. Chemistry could tell you. He's not going to tell you, okay? How certain people in that ilk saw Biden, man. Okay, they were no fans of Biden. A lot of these people of this ilk, because the realists in the Washington circle, okay, they were not fans of Biden. Okay, you only know a little bit. So you want the guy that gave your welfare and stuff to immigrants that just got here. Is that the kind of guy you want? No, they didn't sit by. They knew exactly who he was. Okay, and they knew exactly who Kamala Harris was. Kamala Harris might not win governor, much less president. That information vote. The thing is that the people protested about that, and we had Republicans that protested about that. Congress has to sign the bill. It's not just him. Medicog, knock it off, okay? I'll let you up in a minute. Knock it off. What's up, everyone? Prepare for my arrival. If you basically all my political talk is on another channel. You have no idea what that motherfucker did, Biden did. Okay, so I know. So I call you guys pedestrians. Computer Geek, what's happening? How to help someone break a cocaine? Ooh, that's tough, man. That is tough. There's a conventional way and there's a harder way. Okay, the conventional way is to take them through the treatment program. The unconventional way is take them down to Central America and have them go to the uh, uh, take some of the herbs, man, and psychological herbs for about a week. Okay, under I think some of the magic mushrooms for about a week, and uh, everybody that I talked to that underwent their program, okay, they broke that addiction, including Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson, the way he is, he went down there, he took that shit, he found enlightenment, and he came back. If you really want to break it, okay, that's the way to break it, okay, but it's unsanctioned. Medicog, I asked you to knock it off, okay? The Houthis are popping off, it seems. Everything's kind of broke off after the Iranian thing. What are the 3 clear lessons Black millennial mothers can teach their daughters to help them prepare for marriage? Okay, 1, how to be a wife. Okay, 1, how to be a wife. 2, that marriage, if you decide to enter into it, is about duty and family. And 3, it's about the kids. Okay. There's a listen to the Gottmans. Okay, that I showed you guys yesterday. read Men Are From Mars, Are From Venus. Study Carolyn Mace. There's a whole bunch of people you can actually study if you want to be married. Okay. The thing is, why are you getting into marriage? You're not getting into marriage to be happy. You get into marriage because you're trying to build something. Can you do a show in which people super chat their favorite BGS quote or teaching? Whatever you guys want, man. You can see it more in cultural ties with Black people not identifying as African, and more with Black American, because you are not African. When you're African descent, but you were created here by white people. Okay, you're created here by white people. You're more American than anybody else because you are created in America. Okay, for a reason. Okay. I heard you say Black men only understand consequences. I'm a firm believer in domestic discipline. What are your thoughts on domestic discipline? I believe it should come back, but the thing is, it's illegal in the United States. Okay. Hello, master teacher. Hey guys, be just right. I got my big head call from my ex-wife after being MIA for the last 21 years. I heard that. Yeah, if your kids have your number, she has your number. Okay. Reagan couldn't run either in his second term. The Dems tried the same playbook. Yeah. How can so many Black men speak on being revolutionary but never picked up a firearm? Because they don't know about what a revolution really means. But basically, they never been there, Charles. They don't know what it is. J Dog, what's up? Metacog. Okay, he's talking to him. Just was listening to your video while in the gym. She's not yours, it's just your turn. Would you say either I can love you or I can like you? Um, the thing is, especially nowadays in this modern thing we call partnership, okay? You've been told that you go and get married and have kids and get old with that woman. Okay, that is a bygone era. Okay, the average Black marriage lasts 5 years. Okay, when they do get married. Okay, I was just listening to the Gottmans. Most women hate being married. Okay, they love the idea of marriage, but they hate the actual fact of being married. So the thing is, that's what you have to put up with. Is it worth your time to put up with her? And the thing is, I've been around players, pimps, masks, all that kind of stuff, man. And then what do they say? Hoes come going, right? Okay. She don't belong to you. Okay. The moments that you share is what belong to you. Herself doesn't belong. She can walk out that door. Okay. And my thing is, don't bank on the future. Okay. Bank on the moment because she's in the moment. Get a return on your investment up front. Okay. Because you're trying to get a return on investment 20 years down the road. Okay. She might not be there. She might be gone in 5. You have to look at it that way. What do you think of Jasmine Crocker's chance of winning a seat for the U.S. Senate? Anything can happen, but I think it's pretty low. Maybe 10%. How many channels do you have? Because you only know 2 of them. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. The ones I actually use got content on is 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. I got 6 in backup. Manny Pacquiao or I always like Duran. Duran's old school. Which drug is most difficult to treat for addiction? Meth, heroin, or crack? Meth. Bitcoin at 118, 700 all-time high. Yeah, because you got all this crap going on, man. You're really, the thing is, Turtle, Bitcoin, just like any other instrument, okay, is based on something. Okay, what it means is your dollar is taking a tremendous hit, so it's up it's up compared to the dollar. Is it up compared to where it was? Depending on what you're evaluating it against. Okay. If you're going to get into, if you're going to get into currencies, okay. If you're really going to get into currencies, I don't think you want to go that far. Okay. Compare your Bitcoin up against what's going on, right? So you have to look at Bitcoin, you got to look at gold, you got to look at the dollar. Okay. The only stable measurement of anything is against the dollar, against gold. Okay. Where does it stand against gold? If Bitcoin gets to be where gold is, like I think gold is what, $2,700. Okay, Bitcoin gets, I think Bitcoin gets that high, maybe. Bitcoin is right where silver is at, I do believe. So my thing with Bitcoin is that there's too many exchanges that have stolen people's money, so you got to be really careful how you do it. Okay, to me, Bitcoin is still too erratic. Have you learned of an effective way to stop someone from self-deleting? It is a more cry of for help and of a listening ear and a problem to be solved. Okay. Um, if you can do it, look up Vipassana meditation. Okay. Have them sit down and meditate. Okay. Sit down and meditate. Okay. Sit down, meditate, and do it at least for 20, 30 minutes daily. Okay. If you can get them to do that, they'll get in touch with their feelings and their emotions. They'll learn how to control them. There's a series of videos I put up years ago to help somebody with shit like that. It's called getting over difficult emotions. Okay. If you really want to stop them from self-deleting, okay, that means they're in their head, they're not connected to their emotions. Get into that. Okay, start with that. Okay, another way is if they start doing that, uh, download a Mandela drawing program, right? Coloring program, right? That will activate their anima. They'll get into their anima. It gets in touch with their feelings. What happens? They're disconnected from their feelings. Okay, they're in their head. They're disconnected from their feelings. They don't know how to process their feelings. Okay, do those two things. Slim and no, her chance of winning slim and none. Yeah, I would say so. Why do rainbow black men have such interest in relationships between black men and black women? Um, because they have the same interests as black women do, as they're interested in black men. That's why. And plus, black women, uh, they talk about the same thing, so that's why. They're not really interested in talking to men. They're interested in talking to women because women have the same interest that they do. Thank God I was created in this country and not some podunk third world. Yeah, well, it's luck of the draw. Oh, did you see my email about pedestrian level convo with Cope? Yeah, I did. I'm going to respond to it this weekend, Cyrus. Who is your favorite fine artist? I don't have one. I would say the artist I've always loved is Ernie Barnes. Da Vinci and maybe Ernie Barnes. Ernie Barnes. Those two, as far as fine artists. When I was in Mogadishu, Somalia, running operations with the UN, I was shot at and called a American nigger. I was firing back, kick ass, and taking names. Well, you weren't. You were there. You were there, holding up the flag for a white man. Okay, in West Africa, they will call you. They will call you white man. I'm designing a small town. Do you think it's a good idea to include a whorehouse? Not initially, because you want families. Okay. I was listening to Dr. Thunder debate another brother about marriage earlier, but I don't think Thunder understood that the marriage would not last long enough to benefit from a two-parent household. Um, that is probably true. I didn't. It is brief false law. Okay. Really, if Briefalt's law does reading Briefalt, because Briefalt talks about the matriarchy. His whole thing about the mothers is about the matriarchy, right? Okay, the original tribe was a matriarchy, and Briefalt is black pill. Okay, you have to know what benefit that you bring to that woman if you want her. 5, I managed to find 3. Okay, I didn't know that is. I thought it was 4. Okay. Paul Manafort, Jeffrey Epstein, January 6th. Okay, Metacog, I'm going to give you a chance in a bit, okay? Shut the fuck up, okay? Ray Austin, okay, you see, it was rigged marriage, divorce, child court, the family general court in general against men, and these allows Republicans refuse to acknowledge that this big government overreach. There's something going on behind the scenes. Uh, that's why I listen to Swikert first, okay? And it ain't just the Republicans. I wish it was. Okay, I wish it was. Why did the Democrats protect them overcharging you in health care, amongst other things? Okay, is Keisha above the law? Yeah, so far she is. I'm afraid of Bitcoins because they go up and down. The thing is, learn how to trade. Okay, people are afraid to. They want to invest all their money, but not learn how to handle the money that they have. What's up, Pookie? What's your favorite architecture style? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I never thought about it. Um, it depends on where you are. Okay, whatever is practical. Okay, in the environment that you are, because different architectures, some architectures don't fit in certain places, right? Um, it depends on where you are. Al, what's up? Philip, Ernie Barnes is the truth. Yeah, I love Ernie Barnes. I always have since good times. I love Ernie Barnes. What's up, Snowman? Okay. What time is the fever coming on? Think that AI pills, black, red, or otherwise are canceled out with the blue Kool-Aid. Anyhow, okay. Now, let's see, where is it? There it is. Okay, wrong one. I'm gonna have to start getting used to um, StreamYards because they keep changing the interface. How do you get out of a mental slump when you don't feel like doing anything? Uh, I would say I would say um, I would get my levels checked. Go to the doctor, go to a clinic, and have them check your levels. Okay, see if you're deficient in vitamins, or is there some kind of underlying health problem that's causing you to actually lose focus. Okay, start with that because you can do a whole bunch of shit to actually get you out of whatever funk that you're in. But the thing is, if what's causing you to actually not want to do anything is your body, okay, you have to correct that. That's number one. Uh, Find that out, then change your diet, change your supplements, okay, and then you can go on to things about what do you want to do. Okay, what you can do is what you can do is download the 15-minute miracle, okay, and it's almost like your money, your life, where you actually bring attention to every minute that you actually spend, right? The 15-minute miracle actually will have you log in what you did every 15 minutes, okay? You compare that, and then you have a outline of stuff that you want to do, okay? And then you got a phone, put a timer on. If you really want to do the experiment, every 15 minutes, that thing goes off, okay? And you have to write down what am I doing? Okay. If you do that, you do that from time you get up to the time you go to bed. Okay. And after a month, you log in what you actually did. It will actually tell you what you did or what you didn't do, and then you can actually make a decision. Okay, what's important to you? Do you think that it's hypocritical not to want to date a single mother as a single father? No, it's not. Okay. The thing is, whether she has a single mother or she doesn't have kids, does what that woman bring to you give you a return on investment? It doesn't matter. Okay. If she's got the skills and abilities that will actually enhance your life, just like um, what's his name, right? That married Sierra. Okay, she brought to the table the stuff that he needed to enhance his life. That's how come he picked her up. Okay, Metacog, the link is there, sir. Instead of typing, might do the links Sky game tomorrow. You can. That's going to be a disaster, but you can. The links and no, the Sky and the Sky and Dallas Wings was actually a fairly good game, right? Two equals, okay, two big names, stuff like that. How much time? How much time of studying daily should I do when learning a new skill? Um, Depends on the skill. If it's intensive, and depends how intensive you want to do it and what your timeline is. Okay, but if you want to learn a new skill, you should put it in at least an hour a day. At least an hour a day. But the thing is, you have to evaluate the woman on a case by case basis. Okay, what does she bring versus what her liabilities are? So, for most people, I would say a single. The thing is, with a single father, okay, you're paying. Okay, okay, you pay the freight on that kid because you're expected to pay the freight on that kid. The mother does not pay. Okay, with a single mother, okay, if you take her on, you're paying for her and her kid. Okay, you're the buyer, not the seller. Okay, is she worthy of buying? With Sierra for Russell Wilson, she was worthy of buying. Okay, she with Russell Wilson, she made him money. Sierra didn't cost him anything. Sierra made him money. So whatever investment he put in initially for Sierra and her kids, Russell Wilson has more than made up for that. What do you think about the dollar falling 9% against the euro? Okay, uh, between Biden and Trump, okay, trying to we really is fucking Biden, okay. You broke the dollar's hold on the world, okay, by starting a war and stealing Russia's money. It can never be repaired. Okay, it can only be slowed down. But the thing is, the end. Like I said, the end is near. Okay, it can never be repaired. What do you need women for? Otherwise, the rest is irrelevant. Yeah. What do you need her for? Okay. She's, most guys, most things that men want a woman for is status. Okay, I got a bitch, I got a woman, I got a side, I got a chick, blah blah blah. Right? Okay, the way your chick looks, the way she carries herself is status. Okay, for most guys. Okay, now if that's enough, then fine. Okay, what do you need her for? If basically for most part, what a woman is good for, most women, not all, most women, I will say like 90% of them, okay, are good for what? Status and children. Okay. I'm not married because once I had kids, what's the use of getting married? Okay. Once I didn't want to have any more kids, marriage was irrelevant. Okay. If I wasn't gonna marry the mother of my children, okay, which for a whole bunch of reasons I didn't and didn't want to do, okay, then everybody else is irrelevant. I don't need to be married. Okay. because the practical reason to get married is eliminated. Without kids, and unless I'm in a business where she's gonna bring me status, I don't need her. Black women making black men money, that happens as often as self-defense supporting the magic jersey. It doesn't matter how much money she makes, okay, she's not gonna give it to you. If your child's mother only wants you for a check and fights you every step of the way, is it worth going 50-50 to be in their kid's life? I cannot answer that for you, okay? Because this is beyond just money and pragmatism, okay? What hill do you want to die on? Is what do you believe in? If you believe in 50-50 responsibility because you want to be in your kid's life and that's the most important thing to you, that's what you should do. I cannot answer that question for you, is because what do you believe in? It's like asking why do people choose certain religions, okay? Nobody can answer that except you. Could you consider doing a video on a predictive history channel? He covers some interesting geopolitical stuff. I would like to hear your take. I might. Since people are, you're about the 10th person asking me to. Okay, but thing is, what he does is basically old school stuff. If I do it, it probably won't be on this channel. It'll probably be on my master teacher's channel. Okay. If he was doing shorter videos, maybe, but thing is, his videos are like an hour long. Okay, because he's giving a lecture. I might comment on it if I see something that I'm interested in. But for the most part, if I did it, it's going to go over most people's heads. A lot of black people quietly losing the most valuable asset they own, and that's their grandparents' home. And it's not always because they're being scammed. It's because they're being greedy. Okay, and the parents did not raise them to be fiscally responsible. Okay, so basically, had you raised them to be fiscally responsible, it would not be an issue. Okay, so they're getting what they put in. Okay, do you see any censorship and tightening on rights getting worse or loosening up? Um, I think we've gotten as loose as we can, with the trans stuff and the feminist stuff, all the kind of stuff. I think you're gonna see tightening because it's basically it's gone way too far to the left. They're gonna have to tighten up. Otherwise, you ain't gonna have a country. The desire for emotional marriages by men is really perplexing in today's world. That's the way they're socialized, okay? Which is why they hate the red pill. What is, I have no idea. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. What language is that? Okay. No, I'm not looking to get married again. I guess the biggest value she could bring me is a female presence in my life. If that's valuable to you, okay. I can't tell you what's valuable to you. Okay, what does she bring? Okay, if she brings enough, then that's important to you. I had a friend, right? He got married 3 times. I said, dude, I said he got married to 3 single mothers. Okay, with families. Okay, and a third time after he got divorced, I said, dude, why you try to get married again? Why you get back into this? He said, because I can't stand being lonely. I got to have a family. That's what he said. He said, I want, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. And the misery of being in a family, taking care of family is worth it because I cannot stand being in a house by myself. That's what he said. And I understood when he said that, I understood. Do you still watch the Soraya Brooks content? So if so, what do you think about it? I can't even remember who she is. uh Kelvin. What happened to Medicog? I dropped the fucking link, man. Where are you? Ray Leonard versus Terrence Crawford. Ray Leonard all day long. What the false is? Okay, as the channel talks about history and content events. Okay, okay. I have no idea. I never heard of them. Digital Night, what's up? My aunts and uncles inherited my grandparents' home in San Diego. They fucking sold it, shaking my damn head. $1 million homes that they built themselves. Okay, if people don't value the what they have, then that's what's going to happen. What's up, Jermaine? Okay, uh, bless you for being on Maze. I couldn't listen to it, man. So I don't even want to hear it. So do you foresee romantic life partnership between black men becoming the relationship norm rather than marriages? Uh, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. Hell, they don't they black men and women can't even stay together, man. There's a reason that they don't want to be married. Okay, black men and women don't like being in the same house as each other. Okay, um, and what the one thing a black woman did say that probably would work. Okay, if she falls in love with a man and he has his house, he's got his house, and a couple of blocks away she got her house. Okay, where she can't get on his nerves and he can't get on her nerves. That might work. What's up, Digital Night? Moses, what's happening? Where the fuck is Baby? Okay, I dropped the link and Metacog doesn't show up. What the fuck is going on? Going on and on, listing shit and typing shit. Bring your ass up here. I heard him on the Lapeef show, and my thing, as long as he's righteous, okay, I'm willing to give him a birth, okay, because he didn't come from us. So I'm willing, as long as he's righteous, just like Pearl. As long as they're righteous and they talk, you know, they respect the intellect. I had no problem with him. The black pill stuff, I disagree. We disagree on that, but you know, he's a licensed therapist. So as long as he's doing good work, man, I got no problem with him. The thing is, if I noticed with Anton and even with the Lapeefs, man, when when the white boy shows up, or even a tether uh like Myron shows up, them bras get quiet. Them bras get quiet. But that shows you. You see the difference between how the white women accepted him and talked to them versus the black women. You see the difference? When a black man comes in with the same stuff that you talk to the white women about, okay, you see a different reaction, okay? Because the black women don't respect you, okay? Our relationship in this country between black men and black women are screwed up, okay? It's probably irreparable. He got scared. Why did he get scared? Okay. Okay, let's look at it a little bit of, since we got a little time. We'll pull it up. You bought the 12th person that actually talked about it, okay? I looked at it a little bit, and it's old news, okay? But they already owed. Who wants to deal with them at that point? I will deal with the Gen X woman from another race first. Okay. If we have separate houses and she's still trying to police my space, is she going to ask me to support her home? No, she can't. That's the whole point. Can you teach black pill mentality to male children? If so, at what age? You can start when they're 2. I need to find the video where the black one said, I treated my black exes bad, but I got with a Hector, and I'm just trying to bring him lunch on breaks and love on him. Yeah. Yeah, Exhibit A, Jada Pinkett. Yeah, that's true. I had, in fact, I have a friend. She's in Kenya, and she heard the joke. She heard I sent her Chris Rock's joke about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, right? And she said, "Why? What's going on?" So I sent her the stuff, and it blew her mind. Okay, it blew her mind about about the so-called stuff going on. What she said is that if that happened in public in Africa, Will Smith would have beat her ass. Okay, it would not. She said it would not have gone well. Black women have too big of a license in this country toward men. Okay, she said Will Smith would have beat her ass. Okay, in Kenya if she had done that shit. Not because she cheated, because she disrespected him. Have you picked out your movie? No, I have not, sir. Be careful with the black pill. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, let's go ahead and pull up. Everybody's talking about him. And so let's do an AMA bonus. We'll pull up. Since Metacog is not going to show his scary ass up. Okay. Because Metacog is not going to show his scary ass up. And let's go ahead and see if we can find the Lapeef show and Jeff. Okay. Let's see. Lapeef Network. All right. Do we want the whole one? Oh fuck, that's 6 hours. We ain't gonna do that one. Let's see. Let's take a shorter one. Okay. Let you guys pick, okay? All right. The Peef Network. All right. All right. Woman says having his baby means you must follow him. Sparks outrage. Okay. Modern feminism is way too long. That's 6 hours, too long. Amira says women should teach boys. Sparks. Okay, that's something else. Is that new? Is he on that one? No. Let's see. Let's put. Let's put that one. Thursday night talk. Feminism gone too far. I don't know what you guys want to look at. Which one? Let's try the shorter one first. Okay. Let's try the shorter one first. Because I don't see any shorter shit. I don't see him. I don't see him on this one. I don't see him. Let's check it out.
At times when women try to decide what the man needs to know or what he should be or shouldn't be.
No,
typically women end up making.
That ain't it. Okay. That ain't it. That's not it. Let's just pick one to Peef, and because I can't find which one. See the latest one. Let's go to the actual network. Videos. I don't see him. I don't see him. I do not see him. Okay. I don't see him. Okay. There's nothing short. All right. Let's go ahead and start with the whole one and see what happens. And okay. Let's just pick a random spot, okay? Pick a random spot because I have no clue. 6 hours. 6 hours is a lot, man. So, and they haven't carved it up. So I don't have no idea, what you guys were talking about because I didn't watch the whole thing.
Entire panel an opportunity to speak, just to make sure I got a really well-rounded perspective on where everybody stands.
Wait, why are you gonna ride his coattail? Why don't you just go ahead and tell her?
No, I'm just.
I'll let the professional say something.
Say, Sweeney, go ahead. You engage with Jasmine. Go ahead and tell her what men go through, Sweeney.
You know what's interesting? Y'all only bring up the things that y'all believe that we go through at the hands of other men, as if we don't experience y'all in a negative way. Everything that you, I just said it's interesting that that's what you brought up. You brought up the things that we
mean too,
but we experience y'all in a negative way as well. We experience parental alienation. We experience problematic women when it comes to custody issues. We experience postpartum depression when it comes to, you know what I mean? We experience depression in general. We experience being afraid to be falsely accused. We experience emotional abuse. A lot of times physical abuse, because when you talk about within relationship dynamics, when you talk about a lot of the times women initiate the violence in the relationship. We experience being gaslit, dog whistled. And these are all things that y'all do to us on top of the things we experience in the world. So how is it that you can say, oh, men experience stuff, but they don't experience nearly as much as what women experience? You know what? You know what's crazy? Y'all are talking about us rolling back laws for y'all, and the only one that y'all pretty much mention is the AB law. But we can't. The thing is that we're fighting to even get laws put on the book that protect us. And that's kind of the thing. You know,
the ones making the laws, though.
Everything else that goes on in life, we turn around and we tell them that's your problem. Deal with it.
And I can tell you what, when I listen to Ask a Brother, I think it's St. James or something like that. When I listened to you talk to those women, I saw a man who was passionate about being accurate and saying what needs to be said. You probably said it 1,000 times, but it finally fell on the right ears. But it's something I think most of the guys on this panel can argue that we probably fucking wrote a book on that over and over on this particular show right here. But we understand, and you sounded like you understood as well, that whenever you spoke to those women and they listened to you, what happened was an exchange from two groups of people that had been exposed to different realities. And when I say different realities, and this allowed me to understand people like that, those women that you spoke to.
Yeah, I think he's been red pilled, man. I think them black women on that panel turned him into a red pillar. They
have a different algorithm. They have a different thing they ingest.
When he first came to the space, he was purple pill, man. I think he finally took the red pill.
Digest every day. So I'm able to understand that some of the things that I digest and ingest is different as well.
Larry, why do we need to fix it? Okay. Why do we need to fix it? Okay. The structure. Okay. Y'all keep saying we need to fix it. It's a structural thing. Okay. It's not a relationship thing. They designed a system that fucked up and didn't work. Okay. That's what happened.
Well, because if you look back in time before algorithms or the internet, we lived in a newspaper type society where everybody who got the same newspaper believed in the same things for the most part. We read the same headlines. The same jargon or the same slander was on a particular.
And we ain't gonna fix shit, man, because it's too far gone. Okay. sometimes things can be fixed and sometimes things can't. Okay, I got people visiting, man. I see the same shit go on that I saw as a kid. I can see the same shit go on that my grandmother described happened to her when she was a fucking kid. Okay, the shit cannot be fixed. Okay, we internally as black people cannot fix this shit. It's impossible to do it. Okay, I've studied this shit for 40 years. It's impossible to fix this. Okay, you have to scrap it and talk and then start over. Okay,
a particular political figure. We all went that way. Now your algorithm is curated for you. For you, we can be in the same house. My wife can have a different algorithm that'll position her against my ideology, and that's what we deal with sometimes when we come together. But what happens is you have to figure out how to look at the results of all the matters that you talk about. What are the results? What's happening? Is it destruction? Is it success? And I think what you did was showcase that you were on the side of success, but you were speaking.
Oh, Soraya's that. Oh, I haven't seen anything from her in quite a while. So when the stuff popped up, I used to respond to, but I haven't seen anything from her in quite a while.
The destruction that was happening and asking the women, hey, look, open up your lens. Don't just focus in and lock in on what's in your reality. Sometimes you gotta maybe create, like sometimes I create a burner account and I follow all the damn feminists and pandas.
MS Delta, appreciate you. MS Delta can tell you, man. Okay, if he could tell you, okay, I know he can't. The underlying structure of this country, man, is rotted. Okay, it's rotted, and you got white people on the Hill that know what the fucking problem is. They can't get together, both Democrat and Republican. Okay, everybody got their hands in the till, and they can't take their hands out of the till long enough to actually repair this country, right? And guess what? Okay, if the people at the top that have their hands on the levers are not doing what they're supposed to do, guess what? We have no shot at this, right? And black people at the bottom, you have no shot at fixing your family. Okay, you don't. I mean zero shot at fixing your family. No, it's not a house on fire. I wish it was. You know, this is a house where the termites have eaten the foundation and it's rotting. It's going to fall.
That's how I make up a lot of my content. I create a burner account, follow all the Derek Jacksons and some GQ Perry dude. Y'all know who that dude is. All the sexy panders and stuff. And I get the algorithm so I know what reality they're living in. And it is.
How you judging if they sexy or not?
How do I judge if they sexy?
And just to clarify, the podcast was called Sharing My Truth. Like I said, it was 2 white ladies articles, studies, and many of the people that don't are probably typically preoccupied with social media trends, their feelings, Love Island, what Angel Reese is wearing presently. That tends to be what they're preoccupied with.
Can it be repaired? It can be. This country will never be what it was. Okay, it's impossible. That time is gone. It's basically. I think it was the day after tomorrow, right? Where these cats were up in Canada, and these ice storms were coming in, right? They're freezing, actually turning the whole continent into a glacier, right? Okay. And he asked them, he said, it's time to get out, okay? And the guy said, the time for that has come and gone, my friend, okay? All you can do now is save as many as you can. That's all you can do right now. Save as many as you can.
I don't judge people for it. We all have our interests. I'm actually very, very, very interested in a whole host of things related to this topic because it actually affects what I do for a living. This isn't happening on this panel specifically, but I've been accused of hating women, which is fascinating because I run the largest mental health nonprofit in Philadelphia, in a Black city. 85 to 90% of my staff is women and Black. And, you know, every promotion, every salary adjustment, every move that needs to be made in terms of trying to service over.
And the thing is, okay, what is it? Was it the world ends? The world ends not with a bang, but with a what? Whimper. So it's going to end with a whimper. What you're seeing right now.
For 1,000 clients per month, it's because I care, and it's not only that I care about my city, which that is my home. I care about the residents. I care about the city. I care about the state of the Black community. I didn't realize until social media, believe it or not, that some of people's reactions about why a man would even say this out loud. I look at it through this lens. What problem in life gets resolved when it's ignored or downplayed or not acknowledged? None. So clearly there's still an issue. There's still some, the gender war is filled with people that aren't interested in knowing what's going on with the other side. That includes men and women. So me being brought on in that space, and just to clarify, the podcast was called Sharing My Truth. Like I said, it was 2 white ladies from Canada. They knew my background and they asked me and brought me on. It was a 2-hour conversation where we covered a whole host of different topics, both pertaining to men and women and how it affected men and masculinity. And, you know, by the time we got done with it, obviously, I think in the last 4, 5, 6 days, I think over 250,000 people have kind of seen it. It is what it is. But in terms of the reason why I'm entering into this space, believe it or not, is because I want to get us to a place to kind of start to raise the standard, raise the bar in terms of how we see each other, what we expect, and how we talk to each other. So long story short, I won't disrespect the ladies on this panel because I know that the intentionality of what I said and why I said it, I'm very, very intentional and cautious about the image, not only of my own image, but actually yours. So when people watch us on social media and all they see is us cussing each other out, talking over each other, disrespecting each other, my reason for joining the podcasting space is I'm new to podcasting. I'm not new to what I do. So I've actually been doing this quite a while. And I realized that the reason why things are so bad and why people look at our community as the worst of the worst in every major statistical category is because part of the stereotypes are true, but then also we oftentimes will live out those stereotypes on screen.
Parts of no, they're all true, man. They're not parts of it. Okay, SOSBM, SYM, don't go down with these Klingons. It's over. Yeah, it is. It basically is over, man. Okay. When are men going to take care of us and leave Keisha to rot? Women have sent governments in other women. They did. We're out there helping. Oh, help coming. No, there is no help coming. Okay. Ain't no help coming. The thing is, okay, you've been socialized and brainwashed by your mother, by your aunties, by the school system to do a certain thing, right? I can't make you take the red pill. I can't make you see reality. All I can do is show it to you. Okay. Like Morpheus said, all I can do is show it to you. You have to make the choice. Okay. Same thing with Oracle. Okay. It's called choice. You have a choice. I can show it to you, but you have to make that choice. All I can do is show it to you. How long before he finds his way here? How long before he sits down with the likes of Dr. Dr. THJ, Dr. Neil, Dr. Thunder? I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't really know why he's here. And I don't know if it's organic or not. So I don't know. All we can do is sit back and watch. Because if he wanted to reach out to, I mean, he's been on our, you know, he has watched my show because he commented on both the texts I had on him. Okay, he seems to be righteous. That's all I can say. What he says, he seems to be righteous. I don't know. Got to see. I have my own personal thoughts, my own personal cautions. You know, it's not because of what he did; it's because of my training. I want to take a step back and actually evaluate the person that's in front of me. Okay, Kevin. We knew Kevin came from us, so we knew when Kevin broke out. We knew exactly his antecedents, where he came from, what his intentions were, what he knew. Okay, him. Okay, as long as he's being righteous, I have no problem with. Just like with Pearl, I had no problem with Pearl as long as Pearl was righteous. I had no problem, even though she wasn't sent here for us. Okay. I have no problem with it. Same thing with him. Okay. I have no idea what's going on in the background with this particular person, right? But so far he's righteous. That's all I can say. He didn't come out of us, so he has no real reason to be part of us. Okay. Same thing with a whole bunch of other folks that spit red pill. Okay. They don't come down here and talk to us. Okay. A lot of like the Peace don't come. The Peace have never come down here and talk to us. Okay. He was spitting facts in favor of black men, he said, and he said it in a way that could not be easily retorted. He needs to stand on with the black women who will come for his neck. Okay, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. So all we can do, basically, this has been about a month. Okay, it's too soon to actually evaluate him, but so far he seems fine
in these type of formats. So everything that I'm going to offer as far as suggestions later in this conversation is actually genuinely stuff that I try to apply myself, and that men and women and families and couples are actively trying to do as well to fix their marriages, to fix their homes, to fix their lives, to get their lives back from the trauma and PTSD that they may have developed. So, that's just my initial thesis / synopsis. And I'll give each of you opportunity to kind of respond, and then I'll circle back to kind of give some suggestions on things that I could offer for people who are more or less interested in hearing about it and wanting to know what we can do.
Well, let me talk about
the show. Go ahead.
First of all, good that you said the president is on respect, because had you not said that, your ass probably would have got disrespected. We don't know how been there. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. But I will say that in your line of work, it sounds like like you said, boots on the ground. You in the trenches, real deal, 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be a fool if I was to believe that everybody who had your kind of exposure, or your kind of experience in that field as a licensed therapist would have the same sentiment or belief. I wouldn't be a fool.
No. You'd be a fool to think I'm an anomaly. I'm an anomaly.
Yeah,
there's most therapists have feminist leanings. So by default, they don't think about male communication styles. They don't think about how sometimes in couples therapy, one party tends to kind of dominate and kind of bully to kind of basically try to get the therapist on their side. I recognize that dynamic.
So even
bring attention to it.
At expert level, dealing with real-time data and real-time people.
Yeah.
We still have the issue with bias, which makes one turn this way or turn that way.
And
hold on. Bo, are you fact checking him right now?
That's fine. And I think our standards have had to go down every decade in order for us to be able to still find a suitable partner.
Ooh.
So what I'm suggesting is rather than trying to demonize women with their lengthy list of prerequisites. So for instance, if you feel like you don't want men to be so rigid with their viewpoints, I'm not going to shame women that want a man that's taller than them. I'm never going to shame women that want a man that's not weaker than them. I'm never going to shame women that don't want to be with men that they don't feel safe with and that he feel like that he can't protect them. So rather than being like, well, you just need to change that. No, that's what you can't go through 10,000 years of evolutionary biology and know that who you are and how you've been shaped to be. There's actually certain natural inclinations of which no one had to teach you that you may have felt safer with a man that you weren't looking down on. That's just hardwired in you. So remember when I mentioned about that blank slate theory thing? A blank slate theorist will have issues with the opposite sex's stances of what they're attracted to that they feel they're not measuring up to. So when you hear these men that's going off and complaining about women this and women that, evolutionary biology is learning about, in order for you to not be a genetic dead end as a man, you have to adapt to what women want. You don't get to dictate what it is that women are attracted to or what they want. What they want is what they want.
Briefwald's law. Yeah.
And they're not going to settle. So if we're going to hold women to that standard, then we have to hold men to especially men who have the choice and option as well. The man that you want has standards just like you do. And just like many of the key core things that you either like or don't like or turn-ons and turn-offs, you get to arbitrarily decide which one of those you want to honor or set aside. So too does he. Now, for you, a guy may look at you and initially think a certain thing. Oh, she's going to be rough around the edges. She's doing all this hard manual labor. Well, what happens to the guy who has that image in his head and then he talks to you and he gets the total opposite experience? Suddenly your job and field and craft of what you do for a living doesn't matter to him anymore, because experientially that whatever's happening outside that home, when you walk through that door, he doesn't feel it. Guys ain't driving the gender war thing, even all the talk and everybody's respecting each other. That's the way where we feel like they
don't sound that combative. I mean, I scrolled through a bunch of it. They don't sound that combative. Okay. They seem like they're listening.
The factor in how she
seems like they're respecting him.
Change the woman's mind if she doesn't agree with him. That's all I hear every time y'all talk to me and Bo and Ray specifically.
Hold on a second, y'all.
Should they be? No, you tell me as a man, because men are the
Okay,
violators.
I think you're coming in with a blank slate. What's the term, brother? You come in with a
the perpetrators of child abuse. So can you tell me as a man what age should the child speak up?
That's the question I was asking Ty.
No, I'm asking you as the man who represents the demographic of the perpetrator.
Can you give me the respect of allowing me to ask the question to Ty? That's what I was asking her.
Go for
Because
it.
she's familiar with this. She has this experience. She has the familiarity of the situation. So I was giving her the mic to be able to answer the question. Thank you, Ray.
I honestly don't know because there's a lot of different factors I feel that play into this. Some children go through that situation and they get older and they do feel violated, right? But instead of speaking out for one, shame.
Miscarriage after 30?
What do you mean?
The same issue or chance or likelihood or whatever.
Walk through that door, he doesn't feel it.
Okay.
Guys don't.
They seem respectful to him. I don't see where they disrespected him. Okay. Okay. They seem respectful. Okay. He has that approach. Okay. He has a sort of like a Kevin Samuels approach. So far I haven't seen disrespect. So I don't.
We're more alike than we are different.
Okay.
Now, biologically, our bodies are definitely different. Socially, we're basically the same. Now, I understand what you were saying. I completely agree with all of that. When you put it like that, I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. But I think a lot of women are asking just for equity, not necessarily equality. Like, we don't necessarily want to be equal to you, but we definitely want the environment to be equitable. We want to be able to have the same opportunities to just.
She doesn't know what equity means.
Function the way we function.
Can you give me an example, just so I know so I'm on the same page with you? Can you give me an example?
So I'm much different than the average woman. The average woman does not own a garage full of power tools. The average woman just doesn't do, like, I like getting dirty and doing what I do. And I know that I can't.
Average lonely woman does.
Well, come on, man. Let her cook.
Say what?
See, let her cook. They seem respectful to him, man. They haven't really gone off. So okay. So I don't know what if you guys have clips of where they actually did it. Please send them to me because I haven't seen it. Okay. So maybe they did, maybe they didn't. So far, they seem respectful to him. So I don't know where you guys got it from. Why? Okay. Internet dead. Okay. Monumentally wrong. I wasn't monumentally wrong. Okay. I gave. Okay. I've traded currencies before. Okay. The reason that Bitcoin got to where it was is because of called black swan circumstances. Okay. Okay. First thing happened to Bitcoin, the Chinese adopted it. Okay. Second thing happened to Bitcoin is America started playing with the fucking money. Okay. Especially when it comes to developing countries. The third thing that happened to Bitcoin is basically the Ukraine war. Okay. Fourth thing happened was the Middle East with Gaza. Okay. Look at all the events that caused Bitcoin to spike. You don't know what the fuck you are talking about. I never downplayed Bitcoin. I didn't believe it would get that high. But the thing is, most people didn't. Most people that traded did not believe Bitcoin had a chance to get that high. Okay. It took some very special circumstances for Bitcoin to get that high. It didn't do it on its own. Now, if you want to come up and fucking talk about it, we can. Okay. I said, good God, how many times can black women recycle the same old talk about? That's all they know. Okay. That's all they know. I was not monumentally wrong on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still a trading vehicle. If you had traded Bitcoin as a trader, you'd have made out like a bandit so far. Okay. Bitcoin was always sketchy. It was always a risk. And sometimes, lotteries do pay off. Okay. There's a whole bunch of coins that didn't make it. Whole bunch of coins that didn't make it. Now I want you to come up here and tell me about your chops as far as trading currencies. Okay. Bring your ass up here. Tell me about your chops. Since you're an expert. Okay. You made a lucky guess. A lot of people make lucky guesses. Okay. A lot of people believe in something. Okay, it became a religion. Now, did it pay off because you were lucky? Yes. But I know your silly ass don't know how to trade a fucking currency. Okay, I know you don't. I know you don't want to know what the underlying reason Bitcoin did what it did. I know you don't. Okay, you're like a guy that bets on a horse to go when you go to the track. I believe in that horse. That's all. That's fine. I have no problem with it. The thing is, I'm not gonna give financial advice about shit I believe instead of shit I know. I always said you should have traded Bitcoin. Okay. In fact, I gave charts on how to trade the motherfucking Bitcoin years ago. Where's your Bitcoin chart, sir? Since you know all this shit, where's your fucking Bitcoin chart? Where's your stats? Where's your shit? Because you're the motherfucking expert. Where's your shit? Can you give us the winning lottery numbers? Okay. No, he came in and dropped it. Dumbass bastard. And how can you be so monumentally wrong on Bitcoin? People are wrong on Microsoft. People are wrong on Amazon. People are wrong on Google. Okay, people are wrong on a whole bunch of shit. People AMD. Okay, when I had I sold AMD stock before it went. I want to invest $8,000 in AMD stock. Okay, when they first came up with their first chip, that was 20 years ago. I had made a buku of money off of AMD and Nvidia and those kind of stuff. Okay, the thing is, okay, it's time, presence, and cash, and it's a gamble. Y'all think this is a sure thing? This shit is a gamble. No, keep your Bitcoin, man. You earned it. Okay. Bitcoin is not a financial strategy. We will need to produce companies to produce. I mean, the thing is, was I wrong about Bitcoin? Yeah. Okay. Nobody, only the people, nobody, no financial person thought Bitcoin had a chance to go to 100,000. Okay. At the time. Okay. It took some very special circumstances for Bitcoin to actually get that high. Bitcoin was not going to get that high on its own. Oh, you could. I mean, you could have saw it when it's like $10, man. Actually, a long time ago, man. When the books were actually the online betting were actually using Bitcoin. Okay, I wanted to gamble and turn that into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was $1. Okay, Bitcoin was $1. It is a trading vehicle, okay, that people have made it into something, okay, and it took very special circumstances for it to happen, for it to be adopted, and nobody can predict that. Now he dropped that and ran off. Where the fuck he go? Where the fuck he go? Yeah, it was $1. I mean, when I first heard of Bitcoin, they were almost giving it away. All you had to do was mine it, and so if you had put in left your computer on overnight and put in a higher, a beefier video card, or you could have mined Bitcoin. If the Chinese had not adopted Bitcoin as currency, it would have never happened. Okay, a whole bunch of things had to happen. Now bring your ass back. Okay, now you came in and dropped that shit, and you dropped that shit twice. Okay, now I responded. Now you want to run, silly ass motherfucker. Power the smells just stuck with trash feels. Yep. If I only bought BTC instead of silver back in 2010, yeah. I mean, nobody knew. Okay, it's a gamble. If you have cash to gamble with, Bitcoin was a gamble that paid off. Shout out to Da Vinci. Anyhow, let me get out of here, y'all, because he's not coming up. And I will see you guys. The Bitcoin did not blow up for the reason that true believers wanted it to, meaning that it somehow is going to be the savior of anti-government anarchists. No, I mean, could it be? Anything could happen. Okay, could it be? Anything could happen. But the thing is, if what's his name for China had not talked the Chinese government into adopting it as a trade as currency as a settlement for goods, it'll never happen because Bitcoin went from like a dollar to like 12, okay, within like a couple of months because the Chinese actually adopted it. It'd be just pedestrian annoyance and taco tax. Appreciate you, okay. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here, man. Okay. I mean, if you want to talk currency and talk logic, I'll talk to him, right? Okay. But coming in with that bullshit from a guy that used to trade, get the fuck out of here. Screen pivot. I got here late. We'll catch replay. Appreciate you. Say, why are the women mad that we are not approaching anymore? Because as my spiritual teacher told me a long time ago, guess what? Attention is food to a woman. Okay? Attention is food to a woman. A man that's invisible will find another passion to put his time and attention into, right? But attention is food to a woman. They have to have male attention. If they don't, they go nuts. Bitcoin, you go back and look at the chart and see when the Chinese adopted Bitcoin, okay? In 2011, 2012. Go back and look at the chart. Now, if Turtle Bitcoin, yes, you want to go back in the history of this shit, we can, okay? If you actually want to do analysis of Bitcoin, like a forensic analysis of Bitcoin, and go back and look at the chart when things start to rise and why they start to rise, you go back and look at it. The adoption by the Chinese of Bitcoin is actually what caused Bitcoin to rise. Okay, I know this because I looked 2011 to 2012. They were respectful the whole time he was up there, but when he was basically saying everything we've been saying since day one, the only reason they actually listen is because he's professional. Yeah, they actually listen. So I didn't see it. And that's why I say people saying they were disrespectful to him. I didn't see it. So if you can find a clip where they were actually disrespectful to him, please find it because I didn't see it. And he has a way of putting it to actually put them at ease, because he validates their feelings, and that's really the biggest part. Is if you validate their feelings before you actually talk to them, okay, then they'll calm down. I used to do that all the time. Okay, you actually talk about their feelings and validate their feelings, and then give them the facts. Okay, it's basically the same thing, right? Okay, you validate their feelings, and then you work it through, and you guide them to the logic, which is masterful. Okay, because you've been doing it for so long. What's your response when the women from your past try to spin the block? It depends. If I close the door is closed. If not, give me some pussy. Basically. Love to go there with you. Okay. All right. We got a minute. Okay. Before, what time is it? Before the game. Let me see if I can find it. Bitcoin. Let's try trade. Let's try trading view. Okay. See if we can allow us to spin the block back far enough. Okay. Let's try Bitcoin lifetime chart because it's so volatile. Because I actually did do my research way back when. Okay. Okay. This will do. Okay. This will do. Okay. This one will do. This is pretty simple. And it'll show you basically what I'm talking about. Okay. I hate to say it, you guys actually don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Okay. Bring it down here. Bring you off the screen. Okay. See this? 2010, 2011, 2012. Okay. Remember that? Okay. Before 2013. See that? The first rise, that's Chinese adoption. Between here and here, it's Chinese adoption. See the first rise? Okay. Turn to Bitcoin. Bring your ass up here. Bring your ass up here. Smart ass. Bring your ass up here. Currency taco tax. Nah, bring your ass up here, Turtle Bitcoin. You guys are supposed to be fucking experts. If you're gonna come to me, be a fucking expert. I know what I'm talking about because I actually had to go back in history and look at the goddamn thing. And that was like 7 years ago. Where you at, Turtle Bitcoin? I started trading in 94, in 93, 94. I was trading the Canadian dollar in 94, 95. Okay. I was trading gold in 96, 97. Okay. I was trading coffee. I was trading gold. I was trading oil futures. See that shit right there? 2010, 2011. That's the first rise. Okay. You see that spike between 2011, 2010, and 2012? That's the Jack Ma adopting Bitcoin. Go back and look at it. Do your fucking homework. Because I did. Hear me?
Yes, sir.
Apologize.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I never said you did not. You getting late. I'm just trying to get you to make sure everybody is DCAing and hodling Bitcoin.
They can do okay. They can do what the fuck. I don't do that. Okay, you know why?
You're a
Because
trader.
I don't fuck with people's money. You know how far you know how far back my Bitcoin chart goes? 2016. Okay. Like telling people how to trade this shit.
Okay.
I'm a trader, not a hodler. I told you that, didn't I?
Yes, you told me a long time ago.
So why would I tell somebody to do something I wouldn't do?
Because hodling has proven to be the better strategy.
Why would I tell somebody to do something I wouldn't do?
Okay, nobody can force you to do that, sir.
Exactly. Now if you want to get your own channel and teach people how to hodl Bitcoin, you can. Okay? Because hodling when Bitcoin went from during COVID went from was it 40,000, 50,000 to 3,000. Nobody was talking about hodling, were they?
Oh, I was.
Nobody was. Where were you?
Not on YouTube on that time, but
where were you?
I was buying Bitcoin about that time.
I ain't gonna give a shit what you buying. Where were you?
Not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube. Okay, I was.
No.
When Bitcoin hit $3,000, in fact, I had this dispute with another guy. Right? I said, now it's time to buy it. It was at 3,300.
Yes, it's the perfect time to buy.
In fact, I was telling people to trade that shit right after COVID, right between what, $17,000 and $30,000. Okay, you could have traded that shit like 10 times and made a whole bunch of money, and then got your gains on top of that.
Yeah.
Hodling is the best strategy for people that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes, I'm an experienced hodler because I know I'm not a good trader.
Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's how come you don't trade. Okay, but I'm not trying to teach people to trade that don't know what the fuck they're doing. I actually gave people step-by-step lessons how to do this shit. Okay, step by step. Okay.
I
don't know why.
have the balls to trade.
I don't know why you bothering me about this shit. Okay, just like like the other creep. Okay, nobody could. Nobody could predict COVID. Okay, nobody could predict that.
Of course.
Nobody could actually predict that. If I knew the Chinese were actually going to adopt Bitcoin, I'd got it at $1 when I first saw it.
I wish I bought it 2010 and 11 also.
You bought it when it moved, okay? Because it's more about an act of faith than it is about an act of knowledge.
At that time, it was, yes.
Yes. So what I'm saying, sir, to you and to everybody else is 100% correct. Is it not?
Yes, it's true what you're saying. I'm not disputing whatever it is you're saying.
Well, then fine. Then there's nothing to argue about, okay? When I said white rose, I was 100% correct, okay? So I pulled out the chart. 2013 had very little to do with it, right? The biggest gains is because of these people, right? And the biggest drop here, you see this big drop here? COVID and when the Chinese economy shut down, guess what happened to Bitcoin?
But
when the Chinese economy dropped and went into Moss balls, what happened to fucking Bitcoin?
That was in let's say March 2020 when the whole stock market and all economic financial systems dropped. That's the time when Bitcoin went to 3,300.
You see this bullshit right here, okay? What the Chinese did was roll that shit up, and guess what? The Chinese CCC did what? They sold it off, okay? See that? That's why it dropped right here. Prices dumped, okay? That's why I called it a trading. It's basically for the most part, okay? Now, if you get in early, I tell people what I tell people to do is what? Look for this, right? I'll say look for the dips in Bitcoin, okay? Okay, say you could actually when it first got me buying here, I'd have sold here. And when it got dumped, okay, you buy it, okay? You write it up, okay? And then you can either dump it or dump half of it and buy again, right? These are buying points. I said, where as a trader, as an investor, where do you get in? Okay, if you're a buyer and you a believer, you basically call dollar cost averaging, right?
Of course, that's my strategy.
That's your strategy. It's not mine. Okay. And how long have I told you that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you.
In other words, it doesn't matter. Because you're fucking hard headed. Don't matter. I can tell you that.
I made a choice.
I'm not telling you. Have I tried to give you financial advice?
I'm learning from you. That's true.
Have I tried to give you financial advice?
Not really.
No, I wouldn't do it. Okay, there's a reason I don't do it because I'm not in the market trading. Okay. If you ask me something, I'll give you the answer. Okay. Now,
that's why I love the explanation.
When you talk about that Cyprus incident, that had nothing to do with it. That's why I told you it had nothing to do with it.
Really?
Yes.
I think I differ to disagree on that part because when the Cyprus crisis happened, a lot of Bitcoin went from 700 up to 1,300 in 2013. That's the point when it started to trade above 1,000.
What happened here? When it got dumped.
Look at the chart in 2013.
What happened there in 2014 when it got dumped? What happened?
Yeah, but that's after.
No. What happened? Why did it get dumped down below the 2013 price? Okay, what happened?
Look, Bitcoin has a 4-year.
No.
So every 4 years,
either you're going to answer the question or not.
What happened at that time is it was the end of the 4-year cycle. So at some
Bullshit.
point, a lot of people are
Bullshit.
stepping out of Bitcoin.
Bullshit. Chinese dumped
You,
that shit. Go back
it
and look.
doesn't.
Go back and look at the news during when it peaked, okay, and see what happened. Okay, the Chinese
In 2000,
they did it here. They dumped it there. Okay, it was a Chinese dump.
so if you're looking at the price today, like today we
No, no,
have
no, no,
all
no,
time
no,
high
no.
price of.
We ain't talking about that shit. Okay, we talk about what happened. Okay, why things happen to a certain instrument. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Why things happen. Okay. We're not talking about about today because you're trying to deflect, trying to do a woman shit, trying to
Okay,
deflect.
okay. No deflections. No deflections.
Okay. Okay. The thing is, you're up here because you're trying to tell me some bullshit about Cyprus that I know is bullshit. Okay.
Why?
It's because I know why. I know what happened here. I know why it rose that high. It's because the Chinese were actually using it to actually settle. That was Jack Ma. Okay, Jack Ma convinced the Chinese government actually allow Bitcoin, right? And when the CCP made their money, guess what they did? They dumped that shit. That's why it went back down.
And why did it come back up afterwards?
Okay. Since are you you really want to know, or are you playing dumb?
You can tell me, BGS. You're
No.
trying to inform me. So
I'm asking you. Are you, because you should know. You're an investor, right? Okay. If you rolled something up to its peak and you sold it off, okay, and it drops back down, what are you going to do?
Me personally?
Yes.
I would buy it back, of course.
Oh, so it's not that hard. So why did it go back up?
But because a number of people on a yearly basis are opting to buy Bitcoin. Why? First, the properties
No.
it has.
Why
Except,
did
except from the traders.
If that was the case, why did it drop so low?
It dropped because at some point when, let's say, like when there's a money impulse, like there's a big banking crisis or any type of crisis, you know that our governments are printing a lot of money, and that money is trying to find a way out. And once it has found a way out, we will see a Bitcoin a price surge. And after some point, many of the traders, they try to get out and make some money, and that's when the price drops. So if it was the Chinese, true, probably true. But after that, we will see in the second part of the 4-year cycle, Bitcoin will go up to a peak at a certain point. And you can see this peak. If you look at the chart, you will see that every 4 years it gets a peak, and then it drops down at least 70 to 80%.
Okay.
And then it climbs back up to the next peak.
If we go to 2011, okay, it peaked. It peaked in what? 2013, right? 2014, 2013.
Yeah.
It got dropped, right?
Yeah.
Its next peak was 2017. Okay.
That's exactly 4 years after 2013.
No, it's not. No, it's not. After 2013, 2013 was not a peak. It was the peak. 2014, right?
What was the price? I can't see the. Oh,
$1,200. Okay.
Yeah, 2013. Oh yeah, the beginning of 2014 it was like above 1,000, right?
2018. The Chinese government sold it off. Okay. And they don't even put 2020. Okay? I don't know why they didn't put 2020, because it went from 63 all the way down to 3,000. Okay, it dropped because of COVID. Okay,
they have to put it.
No,
you can't deny 2020.
I picked this chart because it was simple, okay? Because I wanted to show this part, okay? Because the shit that you talked about, what happened in 2013 was bullshit, okay? This is where the Chinese bought in, right in here. This is where they sold it off, okay? This is where CCP jumped back in and bought it again, okay? They sold it off here and bought it back here, okay? They do this. They did this periodically until they get what? They pushed all the Bitcoin miners out of China. For the most part,
that's what they did in 2021, because it reached almost above like 69,000.
Why did they push the Bitcoin miners out of China?
because a lot of Chinese people were moving their money away out
No.
of China, and they
Why
tried
would
to stop.
why did the CCP push the Bitcoin miners out of China? Give me the correct answer, sir.
Okay, they were using a lot of energy, and CCP needed the
Why?
energy.
No, they were.
Just
It's called the digital what, sir?
yuan.
Yuan. They wanted that to be the main catalyst, the main currency. So they pushed all the Bitcoin miners out of China. That's why.
And did it work? No, because there's all those Bitcoin miners. They moved to South America, Africa,
You know what?
Kazakhstan, anywhere in the world.
You know where they moved?
And
You know where they moved?
Hong Kong,
No. Try again.
Kazakhstan,
No.
Brazil,
Try it again.
Paraguay,
Try it again.
Africa,
Try again.
Texas,
Texas.
everywhere except China.
Florida, Texas, and the Midwest.
Wyoming,
Why did they move there?
cheaper prices, energy prices.
Natural gas, right? And
Yeah,
guess what
natural
invited them in?
gas.
United States. Okay, go back and do your homework. All right, we're gonna get out of here.
Thank you, sir.
Go do your homework. Stop guessing. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Because you're guessing. All right. Appreciate you. Love you, Wagner.
Killing me with that one.
Wagner. Was I wrong though? Anyway, all right, you guys. Let me get out of here. My sister's a licensed therapist. She told me that most women aren't usually narcissists, but they make more likely to be borderline personality disorder. What do you think about that? I think because they're looking for certain personality traits for narcissists, and it's defined as male traits. Okay, are women narcissists? Because most women are narcissists. Okay, they actually concerned about their internal and their status, right? So for a woman to actually be a narcissist, that's actually normal for them. Okay, for a man, it's abnormal. For a woman, it's normal. That's what I would say. You don't notice in women because that's who they are. Well, Maggie probably can answer you that. Okay, she's probably better able to answer that because that's what she does for a living. Okay, I think most women are actually narcissists, but the thing is, it's so normalized for women, nobody actually notices it. Because every time women talk about anything, it's always me, right? But it's normal for them. For a man, me is not normal. Okay, for a man to whine about what about me is not normal, but for a woman, it is. Yeah, there are cluster. Maggie probably can explain it better than I can because that's what she does for a living. But the thing is, in my opinion, okay, I'm not a psychotherapist, right? Okay, it's normal for women to be narcissistic. I've very seldom met a selfless female. Okay, that didn't think about their own personal situation first. Because if you talk to any female, it's always about me. Okay, what I went through, how I feel, how blah blah blah, what I think about myself, blah blah blah. I think that's normal. That's probably why they don't classify as narcissism. What I'm saying is, if it's normal behavior for a woman, it's not abnormal. Okay, psychotherapists look for abnormal behavior. For a man to do the same shit that a woman does, that's abnormal. Okay, that's what I would say. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here. And you told me about that Cypress shit. Get the fuck out of here with that Cypress shit. Okay. Yeah, there's all kind of personality disorders, man. I think, I think the society is way too big and way too complex that little bitty personality disorders that we've had since the beginning of time show up. Okay. In a small tribe where you get to know the person, that's just that person being him. When you get into a big group of people, like millions of people, then it starts to show up that somebody's out of sync. And I think that's that's why we probably notice it more. Is because we're not ants. We don't all get on the same page. Okay, even ants don't get all on the same page. Okay, I think that's probably it's more noticeable. It's not the first time. Okay, basically, women care about children. Women care about giving birth, which is a biological function. They don't really care about the children per se. Okay. Children were necessary because they have a necessary function. When that function is no longer there, guess what happens to their need for children or want for children? It's a completely different thing. The maternal instinct only goes so far. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here. No, I'm not good. I don't think I'm going live unless something comes up. I'm probably going to watch the Fever game with. I'll probably watch the Fever game with Snowman. Probably what I'm going to do. Anyhow, let me get out of here, y'all. It's almost 2 hours, and I will see you guys later. Check the 2:40:50 timestamp on that interview when you get a chance. I got it. It got good from there. Okay. All right. I will check it out. What I scrolled through, because I don't want to go through a 6-hour podcast, is they seem fairly respectful to him. Okay. Well, children are always pawns. It's not out of pocket, okay, for children to be pawns. Children were labor, okay, for the tribe and the family. They still are. Okay. The thing is, their labor has been delayed because this complex society has no use for them below the age of 18. So it's got more complicated. Whereas on a farm, kid starts working for the family at 3 years old. Okay. So the environment has changed. Yeah, they were. What I'm saying is they were respectful to him. Okay. Now after they left, something different. What I'm saying is, as far as while he was there, they didn't disrespect him. So, so what people were saying about that was not true. Anyhow, we got out here, y'all. One more super chat. I didn't see it. Scroll up. Okay. Why do black women love street guys? Does it have anything to do with them being masculine? Or are they more masculine? Okay. The street guy image, why they like street guys, is because of the crack era. Okay. They grew up with crack era and gangster rap. And that became the image of masculinity in women's minds. That's why they love street guys. Street guys were not the preferred guy before. Educated, wearing a suit, corporate guy was the preferred guy up until 1988, 85, really 88. Okay. I think 88 was the last year that the corporate, upscale, educated guy was preferred. After that, gangster rap came in, and the videos came in, and the image of the thug and the hustler and the drug dealer and the scammer that made fast, disposable money was the image. The crack era fucked up the black community forever, in my opinion. I thought it was a trend that would actually die off, but it never did. Is BRC a crypto? BRC? I don't recognize the symbol. You're talking about BTC is a crypto. Bitcoin is a crypto. Not really, Ray. Not really. Our own internal struggles go way back 200 years. So it's not, CIA doesn't have to do it. Okay. That's what they find. That's where the theory of benign neglect went. Okay. Came from that. The crack era, it was to keep the crack out of the white areas. Okay. They sold it in the black areas to keep it out of the white areas. Okay. Because guess what's happening now in like Philadelphia and New York and places like that, right? Is fentanyl, right? The opioid crisis, okay, hitting white folks harder than it ever hit black people, ever. It's fucking up their families. But the thing is, they don't want to do anything about it. It's because it's too big. They can't put all these them white motherfuckers in jail. Okay. But the thing is, more white men have died. More white people have died. Men have died over fentanyl and overdoses and shit like that than all the black men that went to jail in the 90s over a crack. Okay. It has irreparably fucked up their society, and they can't do anything about it. Trump is trying to do something about it. Yeah, they're getting it now. The thing is, if they really want to correct, they would have done the same thing to the white boys that they did to us, but they didn't. And so restructure will come back with a vengeance, but they don't have enough money or time or prisons to put all the white boys in. The thing is, if you notice, all that shit about the crime bill didn't happen until after Soviet Union fell, and then they have no need to actually sell that shit anymore. And then they try to clean up the community by putting all the black men in prison, and the black women didn't say shit, which is part of that shit is their problem. The internal problems that black people have never got corrected, and a lot of that reasoning goes back to 1963 and Polly Murray and the black elite females. Okay, that's where it started. Okay, it wasn't the CIA that did that shit. Maggie can tell you. Okay, the opioid crisis for the last 20 years is 100 times worse than whatever happened in the crack era. 100 times worse. I do mean 100 times worse. Maggie, I can't tell you what she does, but Maggie can tell you it's 100 times worse. If she could really tell you who she was, she would actually verify what I'm saying. Okay. No, but the thing is, you guys are vicious on YouTube. The thing is, people that do have information can't help us. They can't help us is because you guys are gonna fuck with them. Which is one thing about YouTube I don't like. Okay. People that can help you don't want to do it because you guys are going to disagree and try to ruin their careers and shit like that. So I don't blame Maggie. But things Maggie can tell you is 100 times worse. Now okay. If it were not for I think it's called Narcan, okay, you would have double the amounts of deaths. Okay. One for Narcan, you would have double the amount of deaths for white men on opioids, and white females too on opioids. The only thing that's keeping these motherfuckers from dying is they got Narcan. They can get Narcan from the drugstore. Wasn't for that, you'd have 200,000 people dying of opioids. White people dying from opioids every year. Yeah, I mean, I can't say who Maggie is, but Maggie has intimate knowledge of this shit. Okay, she has to keep up with this stuff. Okay, and which is why Trump went after Canada and Mexico when he first got in, right? Okay, all right, you guys get on these drug traders and stop this shit from coming in and killing our people, or we're gonna get on your ass. Okay, which he's actually tamped it down a lot. Okay. People don't know why Trump does certain things, but the thing is, and he doesn't always explain. Trump is a lot smarter than people actually give him credit for. But he actually played dumb on TV. I think he's getting tired of playing dumb. Anyway, let me get out of here, y'all. Been 2 hours, and yeah. Ask Prince about Narcan, okay? If you could ask him, he finally succumbed. Anyway, y'all, let me get out of here. I will see you guys later. I mean, I wish Maggie could actually, explain this shit to you, but I know Maggie don't do it because these motherfuckers don't deserve it. Okay, they don't. Trust and believe, man. Don't fall. I've learned my lesson the hard way. Okay, I would say help them, but hey, don't put yourself out there like that. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Muzyka Denis 7.